What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with comedian Lonnie Love, hip-hop diva Yo-Yo. I'm the producer, Angelique. We're celebrating 15 years of uplifting our community and keeping you up on things. Coming up, we've got South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn.
Yo, what's happening with you, girl?
Oh my God, I'm just in this magical, wonderful pixie world. Just came back from Walt Disney World for the Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival. Had an amazing time. Got to interview and speak with so many cast members, teams, entertainment builders over at Disney World. It was really, really exciting. Got a chance to talk to chefs, enjoy some amazing food, got on some new rides, talk about what was new. It's fall and holiday season at Disney World. So we got to learn about new dishes, new rides, new entertainment that's coming to Disney World. Really, really had a great time. Wish you could have been there.
I saw the pictures. I was like, oh, she having a time. Nobody invited me. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? She is with Mickey Mouse and Minnie and got on a mouse ears and just having a good old time. It looked like you were having a blast.
Listen, their merchandise. Growing up, going to Disneyland here in California, we didn't have much merch. Mama was like, you get one thing and that's it. Disney World their merchandise game has elevated. They have home. You can buy different ears for different themes that they have going on at the park. The fall ears, I got some pumpkin ears. I remember last time when I went to the Animal Kingdom, I got my Lion King ears with the fur. Just so cute. They have the magic bands that can open up your hotel doors to your resort. You can pay for your food with your magic band. And you can also, as you go through the theme park, they have these statues that if you wave your hand, the statue plays music or whatever, it'll speak to you. It was so magical. I never felt like a kid talking to these characters like I did this past weekend. Every time they talked to me, I was just Google eyed, like, yeah. And I'm just saying, how are you? I'm amazing. I'm just, I was looking over at my dude, like he was over there just smiling like a 6-year-old kid. I said, boy, Disney World, show know how to bring out the kid in you.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And, we are still getting ready for our HBCU First Look Film Festival. We recently announced the HBCU First Look Film Festival. I Aspire 25. It's the premier list of HBCU multi-hyphenates impacting today's culture. 25 of the best people that we wanted to honor here. And we have like David Banner, Anthony Anderson, so many different people that made the list. So if you go over to hbcufirstlook.org, you will see our I Aspire 25. And also the submissions are officially closed.
Oh no.
So yeah, this lets you know we getting close because we've officially closed all of our festival submissions. And so now the process would be to getting to looking at all the submissions. And again, I'm on the judges panel. So we'll be looking and judging accordingly and getting ready to announce the winners when we have the HBCU First Look Film Festival, November 6th through the 8th. At Howard University. And of course, Marseille Martin is our creative ambassador for this year's festival. And like we said, even if you didn't submit, you can still come to the festival. We're going to have wonderful workshops. We're going to have master classes, interviews. We have a wonderful luncheon. It's really going to be a powerful event, and it's all for our HBCU family. So make sure that you check out the HBCU First Look Film Festival, November 6th through the 8th. And we will be there for Cafe Mocha. And also, you're also working with another organization. Tell us about it.
My organization, the Intelligent Black Women's Coalition, IBW, with my crew, and boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, 36 years in the making. We are still mentoring young girls, and now we are kicking off this next year with a bang. We are still opening it up to different regions. So if anyone out there would like to be a part of the IBWC, hit us up at Cafe Mocha. Let us know, because we are going wild, we are going loud, and we are going proud. IBWC mentors young girls. We help families with their children. Young girls. I mean, I've been getting calls for young girls since I was a young girl, and now I'm in my elder years. Can I say elder yet?
Old years.
Old years. Oh, am I getting old? I know. I feel so young, but now that I'm up there, we are building women up. We are building young entrepreneurs. We are helping each other. We are just becoming this tribe that can learn from each other, can help build one another. And so IBWC is back in effect. We have our first community committee meeting. Oh God, say that fast. Coming up soon. So we have a lot in California. I know we have a bunch in Texas, and New York is still off the chart, but we want other places to zoom in to IBWC. If you'd like to become a member of the IBWC, make sure you hit us up, IBWC1990@gmail.com, or you can always hit us up at Cafe Mocha Radio.
I love that. And lastly, I will be with Martin Lawrence on tour November 15th. We're going to be in Vegas, baby, having a good time. We just came back from Richmond and Baltimore. It was awesome audiences. Also, Detroit, I'm coming there in October 17th and 18th at the House of Comedy. So we are working. The Cafe Mocha girls be working, honey. Okay.
Let's not forget Black College Expo. If you have a child that is trying to get finance for college, Black College Expo is the place for you. Check out Black College Expo on Instagram and find out when we will be coming to your town. We are giving away millions of dollars. I give away $1,000 scholarship every city that we enter. I think we do about 18 cities a year, and the map starts end of September. So make sure you check out Black College Expo on Instagram. We have all of our dates pinned on the page. So don't miss out. We got some money for you, honey.
Ooh, we need that right now. This is Cafe Mocha.
Coming up, what exactly is going on in D.C. right now? South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn is going to break it down. This is Cafe Mocha.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with Lonnie Love, Angelique, and Yo-Yo on the line. We are honored to welcome a true giant in American politics, a man whose voice has shaped history and whose leadership continues to light the path forward. He is the U.S. Congressman representing the great state of South Carolina, the 6th District. Please welcome to Cafe Mocha, Congressman James E. Clyburn. Hi, Congressman.
Hello, how are you?
I am excellent. I think the first thing that I want to talk about is your new book. It's called The First Eight. It's a personal history of the pioneering Black congressman. And it's going to be released November the 11th. What made you want to write this book?
Well, several years ago, right after I finished my memoir, which was released back in 2015, and I was in my conference room and entertaining some visitors, and one of them asked me about the pictures that were on the wall of my conference room. There were 8 pictures of the African Americans that had served in Congress from South Carolina before me. And when I explained it to them, one of them said, "I thought you were the first African American from South Carolina to serve in Congress." Mm-hmm. I kind of playfully said, "No. Before I was first, there were 8." And later that day, I was sitting with staff, and I said to them, I said, I think it might be a good project to write a book about those 8 people. it's a part of history that's been ignored or denied. And that's what started me to write the book. And then in the middle of the book, January 6th happened. And when that happened, I immediately recognized what was going on, because I had been studying history all of my life, and I knew about these 8 people. I knew what they were, what their challenges were, and I had been writing about it and researching. So I knew exactly what was going on. It was just an attempt to repeat in 2021 what took place in 1877. And so then I got real serious about doing the book, and then we finally got it finished.
That's excellent. I mean, you call this a passion project. What do you want the readers to take away from this project? Well,
my dad was an interesting guy. He was a fundamentalist minister who had been denied education beyond the 7th grade in the county he grew up in, South Carolina. He grew up in a county that did not have school for blacks beyond the 7th grade, which was not unusual. A lot of counties in South Carolina did that. And a lot of people who really wanted to get an education, black people, had to leave and go live with relatives in one of the bigger counties in order to get education. So my dad really sort of taught himself, and he was obsessed with reading. And he made us read all the time. He would never tell us to read the Bible, but he told us that every morning at breakfast, we had to repeat a Bible verse, and he couldn't say the same one twice. And so I grew up with that. Every evening before going to bed, we had to share with him a current event. We didn't have television, but the newspaper was delivered to our house every afternoon. And so before going to bed, we had to read that newspaper and had to share with him and my mother a current event. So I grew up with all of this. And I was 8 years old when Harry Truman was elected president. And I became intrigued with politics and why this little guy that nobody gave a chance of winning, nobody thought he had any chance of getting elected president, and he won. And defeated this very rich, nationally famous prosecutor from New York. And that's what just got me involved in politics. And I started studying everything I could about Truman. And so that's the passion. I have a passion for politics. I studied religiously. I've been studying a little bit of political history this morning. It's just who and what I am. So between politics and the Bible, in fact, I keep 2 books. I'm looking at them right now at my bedside. One is the Bible, of course. I usually have 4 or 5 different versions of the Bible, the Revised Standard, the Living Word. I just take turns reading the various revisions or editions of the Bible. And then I keep a book, McCullough's book on Truman. It's a pretty big book, but I use it as a reference book. And quite frankly, I spent a lot of time looking at how Truman confronted things and to take lessons from. He's a politician I've studied more than anybody else.
Amazing. You've been in Congress for a long time, and right now we see what is happening in our country. And right now there is a government shutdown. What's your feeling about all of this, and how do you feel it will end?
Well, I've been looking back over history, and nobody can tell me when the government has been shut down by Democrats. They keep saying, who's going to be at fault here? Right. Well, how many times has the government shut down under Joe Biden? How many times has the government shut down under Barack Obama? Democrats don't do that. We are a different breed. We don't like seeing people suffer. That's one of the reasons we are so strong as we are about health care, because people suffer when they can't get doctor's care, when they get when these hospitals are closing. But for some strange reason, there are a significant number of people on the other side of the aisle who seem to get a lot of benefit out of watching people suffer. And so the government is here to be a collective response to people's suffering. And if you close that down, then you're turning your backs on people, ordinary people who depend upon the government to help alleviate whatever their conditions might be. And so what I think about that is that, when you elect these guys who get a joy out of people suffering, this is what you're going to get.
What do you think we can do, the public, to get the Congress and get the Senate back into the House?
The House, whatever the Senate put up, the House will have to agree to it. And the Speaker of the House of Representatives has just closed the House down until 3 o'clock on Friday. And so that means the government's going to be shut down Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And I don't believe the government's going to reopen before Monday. But they don't care. There's going to be some suffering. They don't care. A lot of people are going to be out of work. A lot of people are going to have services that they can't get to, but they don't care. And so I find it really kind of strange when people ask me, who you think is going to get the blame? Well, it's not, I don't care about who gets the blame. The question is, who is going to get hurt? That is the problem. Who is going to be hurt by this? Who is going to benefit from this? Well, there won't be any benefit for ordinary working people, and they're going to suffer because what this president is doing is making government the vehicle by which we create two big things that I think people are missing. One, they seem to get it. A lot of people see that President Trump is trying to do everything he can to move our democracy into an autocracy. But the second thing that's taking place and nobody focusing on is the elimination of the middle class in order to establish two classes of people in this country. And the best way to describe it is the haves and the have-nots. That's what it is. When you see them close the Department of Education, they don't care, because the people who depend upon the Department of Education are people who depend upon public schools to educate their children. If you do not care whether or not your children go to a public school, or if your children go to a private school and you can afford all of that, you don't care about the public schools closing. And so what I think the people have got to do is start focusing on exactly what is happening in this country. And stop saying, well, what you Democrats going to do? What the Democrats going to do? No matter how many people we put up for office, you got to vote for them. Kamala Harris was a Democrat. And right here in South Carolina, I can go precinct by precinct, where her vote in various counties here in South Carolina was lower than Joe Biden's vote. Why? And so he said, what you Democrats going to do? We're going to keep putting up people like Kamala Harris to run for office and hope that the public wakes up and votes. That's what you got to do.
You've been a strong advocate for Voting Rights Act, along with, your dear friend, John Lewis. And we have midterm elections coming up. Do you really think we can have fair elections under this administration and what's happening with realignment of seats? Jasmine Crockett has lost her seat. Do you think we can have a actually fair election?
Well, yes, we can. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here the way my dad would do it if he was sitting there. So I know you can, but will you? Yeah, so the question is, yes, we can have it, but will we have it? It's another question. And we're not going to have a fair and impartial election unless the people begin to respond. And I think the best way to ensure that there is fair and impartial election taking place in the midterms is for the people of Virginia and New Jersey to turn out in record numbers come November 4th. We're going to have 2 elections this year on the national scale. 2 statewide, well, there'll be 3 statewide elections. But the 2 that everybody's focused on are New Jersey and Virginia. If the Democrats lose those elections, then they will not be. I want to repeat that. If Democrats lose the governorships of Virginia and New Jersey, there ain't going to be no election next year. That's my prediction. If we turn out in big numbers and win those races, then that will have people altering their conduct next year.
How do you feel about the California governor, Gavin Newsom, and what he's trying to do is actually talk back, mock the administration, and it seems to kind of resonate with people. Do you think that is a way to go as well?
Well, it seems to be. I told Joe Biden way back before he got out of the race. I said to him, Mr. President, there has not been a president on the Democratic side more productive than you've been since Lyndon Johnson. No question about that. I love Barack Obama. I love Bill Clinton. But on the production, nobody has produced like the Great Society produced. Lyndon Johnson gave us the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, the Fair Housing Laws of 1968. He gave us the Higher Education Act, gave us, my goodness, Medicare, Medicaid, all of these things. What's been that big? And Barack Obama gave us the Affordable Care Act. That's big. But when you go across the board, Joe Biden, with his rescue plan, his biggest infrastructure bill since the Interstate Highway, with the Inflation Reduction Act, with the PAC Act, you name it. It was there. But I said to him, in spite of all that production, people seem to be more interested in the style rather than the substance.
Right.
And I says, on style, you lose. On substance, you win. And the mere fact that people seem to be paying more attention and giving more credit to style than substance, we got a problem. Now, I said that to him just one-on-one. There was one of his staff was in the room when I said that. Now, that's where we are today. Nobody's talking to me about Gavin Newsom's substance. Everybody's talking about his style. He's going back at Trump. He's doing this. They said, that worked. That seemed to be working. So you come, and that's why I think that at our Phoenix dinner on Saturday night, Wes Moore spoke, and he talked about fighting fire with fire. He has been talking for the last year or two about things of a substantive nature. But he has detected that people seem to be responding to style more than substance. That is not to say that that's bad. That is just to say that you're going to have to adopt some stylistic things if you're going to connect with the American voter anymore. And so I think Gavin Newsom has detected that and is dealing with that effectively. I think that Westmore has awakened to that. I suspect the sheriff is going to be moving with that a little bit. And so I think you're going to find the Democrats taking on more style. Hopefully they won't give up on substance, because I think that what makes the world turn is the substance.
More with South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn coming up on Cafe Mocha.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Cafe Mocha on the way.
You don't want to miss actress and producer Marseille Martin and top HBCU alumni in the film industry at the HBCU First Look Film Festival, happening November 6th through the 8th at Howard University. It's 3 days full of masterclasses, panels, networking, and film screenings, all designed to elevate future storytellers. Grab your tickets at hbcufirstlook.com. Download the HBCU First Look app to stay on top of all updates, and follow us on social media at HBCU First Look.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. Lonnie Love is one-on-one with South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn. Let's get back to it.
Last question, Congressman. What advice do you give to those who feel disillusioned or disconnected from the political process, particularly in communities that have historically faced disenfranchisement?
Well, I think that what I would say to them, you mentioned John Lewis earlier. John Lewis and I met as 19-year-old college students. We met the weekend of October 15th, 1960 on the campus of Morehouse College. It was our second meeting of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, commonly called SNCC. John and I developed a friendship that lasted right up until his death. John lives, I was not with John when they crossed that Edmund Pettus Bridge back in 1965. On March, I believe it was March 7th, it was the first Sunday in March in 1965. No way. I was married with a daughter by that time. So I wasn't on that bridge with them, but I talked to John about that bridge and that march plenty of times. And what I would say to young people who are disillusioned, look, there's going to be an election next year, and you get so disillusioned that you aren't going to participate in the election, that's not going to change the fact that there's going to be an election and somebody's going to win. So if you're disillusioned, it's time for you to get religion. John Lewis and others who crossed that bridge. At the time they went over that bridge, only 3% of African Americans in Alabama were registered to vote. Let me repeat that. When they walked across that bridge, there wasn't a single African American elected to anything in Alabama. And only 3% of African Americans were registered to vote. And there were counties with 85 and 90% black people in them. And all the elected officials in the whole county were white. Now, that is basis for being disillusioned. They were not disillusioned. They faced those cops. They knew what was waiting for them at the bottom of that bridge. And we see in the pictures of John Lewis being beaten with a stick. We've seen the pictures of the people with howling dogs and cattle prods. And you could tell me you're so disillusioned you can't vote. You know, if I wasn't a preacher's kid, I would really tell you how I really feel. And so I would say to young people, stop this bull. Stop it. Think about the children that you want to bring into this world. Think about the grandchildren you're going to have. Do you want to see your children and grandchildren live the life that your parents and grandparents lived? Well, that's what Trump is trying to do, turn the clock back. So you can sit around and be disillusioned, stay on the couch. You ain't going to vote because the Democrats ain't doing every darn thing you want done, and just let those people who want to turn the clock back. What kind of joke was that the president made today about the N words?
Yeah.
What kind of meme was that he put out about Hakeem Jeffries with a sombrero on his head? Is that what you want for your children and grandchildren? So stay disillusioned. That's all advice I got from him. I'm losing my patience. And I got children. I got grandchildren. I got a great-granddaughter. But if they come to me with that foolishness, I would disinherit every one of them.
But now, and this is seriously the last thing, because the whole purpose of you being on this call, we need to talk about your involvement with the Faith and Politics Institute and what drew you to their mission, and how has your faith influenced your approach to public service? Because you get a little feisty. I hear it right now. But can we just talk about that?
Yeah, faith is mentioned at the top of the program. My dad was a minister. My mother a beautician. I learned my politics in the church and the beauty shops. Everybody keeps talking about barbershop politics. I've been doing beauty shop politics since I was a little boy. In fact, the first African American to serve in Congress, be elected to Congress, the first to serve in the House of Representatives, was a guy named Joseph Rennie. Joseph Rennie got sworn into Congress on the House of Representatives on December 12, 1870. Joseph Rennie was a barber. He was a barber. In fact, Barber's Alley in Bermuda is named after Joseph Rennie from Georgetown, South Carolina. So this stuff about barbershop politics means something new. None of this stuff is new. None of this happening in the churches is new. What is new is these newfangled ministers who now say, I don't want any politics in my church and no politics from my pulpit. Well, if you don't get the politics right from your pulpit, your offerings are going to dry up because these people are not going to be having an income to help you support the church. So the church, to me, is more than Matthew 25:40. Every time I hear somebody talk about their faith, they say, well, I've been doing for the least of these. Well, the least of these, that parable comes way down there around the 40th verse in chapter 25. So there are 39 verses before that. And among those 39 verses are instructions for us, how we should use our talents or lose them. And so my faith to me tells me, as my dad said to me when I told him I was not going to go to the seminary, as I had planned to go, as we talked about, he said to me, I suspect the world would much rather see a sermon than hear one. Now, I didn't know it when my dad said that to me, but he got that from Edgar Guest. It's a poem by Edgar Guest, that the world would much rather see a sermon than to hear one. Well, I try very hard from my daddy's admonition to allow the world to see in me, my service, a good, productive sermon. Because my dad used to say to me all the time, son, you lead by precept and example. So we can talk about the golden rule, that's a precept. We can talk about doing unto others as you have them doing, that's a precept. Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, those are precepts. The examples come when you do it, when you treat people as you want to be treated. Not when you say or pronounce the precept, but will not you, by example, practice what you preach. So my faith instructs me, but my faith also tells me that you're known by your deeds, not your words.
Congressman Clyburn, thank you so much for your time, for your wisdom, for your knowledge. Everyone, his book will be released November the 11th. It's called The First 8. It's something that we definitely need to pick up. And thank you so much for all that you do, Congressman. And thank you for your time and stepping into Cafe Mocha. We love you.
Well, love you too. Thank you very much for having me.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
We're talking to Congressman James Clyburn on Cafe Mocha.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is the Espresso. I'm Angelique. This new plan in Texas may just bump out one of our favorite congresswomen, Jasmine Crockett.
When Donald Trump ordered Texas Republicans to rig the next election, they drew my seat off the map. They're gaming the midterms by disenfranchising Black and brown voters, denying our voice and our vote.
Monique just created Monique's Movement, a free workout with her and her trainer.
My mother died, a double amputee. Both of my grandmothers died, not in the healthiest state. So you just see this thing generationally going on and on and on. For years, people have been saying, Mo, I want to work out with you. Mo, I can't afford no trainer. Mo, I can't get no gym membership.
Play Dirty just came out starring Marky Mark Wahlberg and Lakeith Stanfield from the TV show Atlanta.
What's the score?
We're gonna rob an entire country. Sunken treasure, Parker, worth $1 billion.
So this is the crack team taking on the mafia, a billionaire, and an army. Shouldn't be a problem.
Make sure you check out Play Dirty on Amazon Prime Video. That's the Espresso.
This is Cafe Mocha. Radio from a woman's perspective.
It's Cafe Mocha with Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, and the producer, Angelique. On the line, one of our favorites when it comes to talking about politics, we have Roland Martin. He is the host and managing editor of the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show. Welcome back, Roland. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
You know, Roland, there's a lot going on. Okay, it's been over 100 days since we had this Trump administration. What are your feelings and what are your observations with this administration right now?
Well, first and foremost, what you're seeing is exactly what they said they were going to do. I don't know why people are surprised. I don't know why they're shocked. I've run into people who say, well, we didn't think they were going to go this far. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell were you thinking? I saw this idiotic interview with Terrence Howard where he says, I was 100% down with Trump until he started deporting people. Dude, what the hell were you doing the last 3 years? He literally, that's all he talked about all the time. That's what he said he was going to do. So, Terrence Howard, you're 100% all in with Trump until he started deporting people, which is all his primary agenda. That's the level of stupidity I am sick of. I'm sick of it. Listen, the constant attack, what you are seeing is a complete effort by the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon con man in chief himself, because I don't call him president because he does not earn the right, nor does he respect the office. This man they are simply trying to completely decimate the entire Black civil rights and economic infrastructure. When you look at, here you have the Biden-Harris administration settled a case in Alabama where 9,800 homes, Black, were constantly having raw sewage backed up in their front yard, backyards, and homes because of infrastructure or the lack thereof. What does Trump do? Cancels the settlement, calls it an illegal DEI agreement. Louisiana, DOJ, under Biden-Harris, suing a petrochemical companies in what is known as Cancer Alley, where Black people have been getting cancer at high amounts, huge numbers. What does Trump do? Hey, cancel the lawsuit. Let's go to Texas. Voting rights case in Texas, dealing with the 2021 redistricting. Nope, pull out of the lawsuit. HUD had two cases, one where a homeowners association in Dallas was freezing Blacks out, and the other one was where, frankly, Harris County, Black and brown folks, did not get $1 billion in hurricane money because the governor of Texas withheld the money. Trump, we're going to cancel investigations. Over and over and over again. It is an anti-Black agenda.
For anyone and everyone aspiring to work in TV and film, the HBCU First Look Film Festival is coming to Howard University November 6th through the 8th. The tickets are very affordable. Check it out at hbcufirstlook.com.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. On the line, journalist Roland Martin, talking about the state of politics.
I have challenged these maggots, that's what I call them, these Black MAGA people, Pastor Darrell Scott, Sharice Lane, David Harris Jr., the Cartier family, all Joseph Pinion, all these cheesy Negroes who were at Trump's Black History Month reception. Not a single one of them has said a word about the anti-Black actions of Donald Trump. Now we know that the Justice Department, the Civil Rights Division, you are seeing mass exodus. Hundreds of lawyers leave. They have stopped every single voting rights case with no explanation because, hey, we don't care. So people need to understand this thug is going to be there until January 2029. And it's even worse. He signs an executive order, Lonnie, saying that I have ordered the Attorney General to provide legal assistance to cops who incur expenses for doing their job. And the shakedown of those law firms. So all those law firms who cut deals with Trump, with his illegal executive order targeting them, they're not going to be defending those cops. So they don't care about the victim. So forget the people who have been impacted. Case in point, Black man in Washington, D.C., was chased down by cops, crashed, died as a result. A jury convicted the 2 cops of his murder. Guess what Trump did as soon as he got in? Pardoned them. Black woman beaten by a cop, by a sheriff in Los Angeles. Convicted. They're going to sentencing. The new U.S. attorney goes to the judge, hey, can we get a 3-month a hold on the sentencing because we want to review this case? And the judge's like, hell no. Jury has spoken. Sentence is going to happen. And then they're like, well, okay, I guarantee you, Trump's going to pardon that cop. So Donald Trump has no problem saying if you're a cop and you unleash havoc among black people, DOJ ain't filing a civil rights case, a civil rights violation. We can forget about it. We can forget going to the federal government for recourse as long as this thug is sitting in the Oval Office. That's how bad this is.
It's Cafe Mocha. On the line, journalist Roland Martin talking about the state of politics. And, you mentioned a little bit earlier about actor Terrence Howard, but there are a lot of athletes and black people that are co-signing for Trump. What is the ideology? Do you think that they're just giving up or they don't understand what's happening to the country? What's your view on that?
They're not giving up. First of all, they're idiots who clearly don't know how to read. And they're also selfish. Adam Pac-Man Jones, I don't care about nothing but my pockets. Well, you should have been caring about that when you threw that money up in the strip club in Las Vegas and then you got sued and hit with a multi-million-dollar judgment. You didn't care about your pockets then? That's what you're seeing. Saquon Barkley, people, I don't care if y'all mad at me because I rode on Air Force One and I played golf with Trump. I also played golf with Obama. Well, guess what? Obama didn't try to lead an insurrection in the country. Obama didn't sit here and call the election rigged. Obama didn't sit here and have these anti-black initiatives. So, okay, way to go, Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's why, it is just dumb with some of these people. And again, they should be challenged.
The HBCU First Look Film Festival is coming to D.C. November 6th through the 8th. If you're an aspiring filmmaker, an actor, or somewhere in between, the HBCU First Look Festival is perfect. The tickets are only $25 for students, $40 for everybody else. Go to hbcufirstlook.com. hbcufirstlook.com. That's the show. I'm Angelique, along with Lonnie Love and Yo-Yo. You can follow us on all platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.